Hello there, everybody. This is Gifty from Mom, and today I have a special guest for me on my support cheer and unite podcast interview, and I don't like to talk too much about it. I don't like people. I don't like to introduce people. I like them to introduce themselves. So, if you don't mind, Coach Paul, tell everybody who you are.
No, thank you for having me on. My name is Coach Paul Ekeocha. I am the founder and president of F.O.R.M Basketball Academy. Uh, I'm also the CEO and executive director of Canada Circuits, managing director of With One Voice. That's kind of my, community coaching. But today I'm coming to you as the president of F.O.R.M Basketball Academy.
Okay, and for F.O.R.M Basketball, you mentioned, where are you guys located?
Yeah, we have three locations. We've been blessed with having the ability to expand. Our original, mothership location is Vancouver, and then we have locations in Toronto and Kitchener, Waterloo as well.
Nice. Okay, we're in the sports world though. So a little bit about yourself. Did you play ball when you were younger or still playing? Because there's different levels at every age.
Still playing. I don't know. My old man bones probably won't allow me to do it. I'll play here and there, but nothing like I used to. But yes, I grew up playing ball throughout elementary school, high school, university a little bit. I was actually a two-sport athlete in university, basketball and track. But
Wow.
high school, I did football, basketball, and track uh, as well too.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm a hooper for life. Once I pick
Yes,
up
I
that
know.
ball,
Once you start, I hear it. It's hard to get out. That's what I'm learning. So there is. It's the love. It's the love of the sports and the love of the game. And
yeah,
there's so many things that you can gain out of that, which is great. Now, for you being in the sports world for so long, both as an athlete, as a coach, as a director, as a founder, what would you say has been some of the most proudest moments that you've experienced?
Oh man, there's been quite a few. I mean, I can start as recent as this summer, winning gold again with Team Ontario, the U17 boys.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Going back to back, I could go as far as back as last year, winning gold again with Timo. This year we were in Toronto. Last year we were in Quebec. Um, yeah, there's been a few. Almost winning the Triple Crown when I coached in BC. So that's
Nice.
what that includes is you win the city championships, you win the districts, and then unfortunately we didn't win the provincials, but we were close. Um, yeah, there's been a few. With my university team a couple years ago, we went to the OUA Final Four. We
Wow.
were literally a possession away from going to nationals, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I think those would be some of the most proudest moments as a coach.
That's good because based on all the different um, tournaments or finals or experience you've had, it seems like the emotions have gone up and down. Some, so close, and some you surpass it, and some you're like, oh, and then you come back next year, which is what pretty much being in the sports world is, right? Nothing is ever written. So, but I guess the consistency and the tenacity that you have to keep pushing forward is in a combination makes it more of a proud moment. I'm glad you're not talking about only just the championship, but even the ones that you were just close to it too, right?
Oh yeah, you definitely as a coach, you definitely have your the wins. You definitely have the losses, the ebbs and the flows, the emotions of the game. But like I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I like that. Yes, I like it. Now, we want to know a little bit more about all the three different clubs, organizations, companies that you manage, particularly in F.O.R.M, which is in, acronym. So what does
Yes.
F.O.R.M actually stand for?
Well, I like double meanings. Anyone that knows me, I'm a bit
Yes.
of a word geek. So double meaning, obviously, in basketball, you need form, you need proper posture, you need proper posture, but you need the proper like the 90 degrees. I always say pick your nose. So when you shoot, you kind of pick your nose. Even though our parents told us not to do that when we were young. And then you wave goodbye to the ball. As a ball handler, you need proper form. So you need proper form in basketball and athletics across the board. Unless you're not going to be very good. But also it stands for fundamentals, organization, respect, motivation. which is a key mantra of our program and, built into our mission statement as well too.
I like that. Okay. And your mission statement, which when I read it, it was like, wow, this is very encompassing and very detailed. And I like it because based on everything you guys are doing, you didn't just write it, you're actually living it. So talk to us a little bit more about what F.O.R.M Basketball Academy does.
Yeah, the easiest way to explain it is we're a one-stop shop for athletes. We're an academy versus a club. So nothing
Mm-hmm.
against clubs, is just sometimes it's someone's dad that's coaching, sometimes it's a community coach and they're just there, doing 1 or 2 practices a week. We try to connect with our athletes as regularly as possible, but we really truly want to engage them, but also help them and mentor them into their life goals.
Mm-hmm.
We always say to anyone that's come through our program over the last 8 years is, what's your plan for life? We always use the life applications as well too. So how are you as a student athlete in the classroom? How are you as a student athlete on the court? And how are you a student athlete in the community? Because part of our mission statement, again, is we want to help you become a world-class citizen. So when you do leave us, because you will leave us, whether you're here with us for a year or 4 years or whatever it is, you're going to graduate and go on to hopefully bigger and better things. Hopefully the things that you've learned through, being your time with us, will translate out to help you in your post-secondary endeavors. Again, as an athlete or just a student or both, but also more specifically in the workplace, in your relationships with friends, family, partner, anything like that. So that's what we really try to help the athletes tap into that and really understand that it's bigger than just basketball.
I like that. You mentioned 3 key things, which is how you are in class, on the court, and in community, which is very important, or I would say a pivotal moment in any person's life, let alone just a student athlete. So the fact that you're encompassing all 3 as part of your club mandate or mission is very respectable.
Yeah.
Not many out there. Some say they don't, and some are learning whatever it is. But at the same time, just seeing how you don't just write it, but you guys are actually doing it, it's respectable, like very respectable.
Yeah,
I
we
appreciate
have
that.
to make sure that this generation of kids is understanding the importance of an education,
Mm-hmm.
understanding the importance of just being a good person, right?
Yeah.
And understand that as much as you may want to go play pro post, like after your post secondary school career is done, and you may go play CEBL, you may go play in Europe, you may go play in Asia, wherever it is, basketball ends. For some people, basketball will end after high school. Some it's after university. Some it's after playing pro. Now, maybe say you played a couple of years and you're now, late 20s, early 30s, maybe you're 30. It's like, well, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? Right.
Yes.
So having that education, having something to fall back on, because at the end of the day, we all know, we've both gone to university. At the end of the day, once you get your degree, no one take that from you. It's yours.
Exactly.
Right. But
Exactly. Which is
basketball we taken from you at any point in time, whether
yeah.
it's through unfortunate injury, through maybe bad attitude and character, maybe
Yeah.
just you're a vet and now young guys come in and she's taking your position, whatever it is, right? But
Mhm.
your education can never be taken from you. So that's again a big thing for us.
I like that. I like that. Now, for some of your players or anybody will looking to get into F.O.R.M or be part, become one of your community members, whether it be your student athletes or anything like that. What are some of the skills that you feel like you have gained through this sports that has helped you? So when they're coming in, you can say, "Hey, these are the things that I've learned over the years, and this is what we're going to push on to help you, know who you are, where you are, and how you can get to where you want to be."
Yeah, one of the things that we we say, and I say to the athletes, and our coaching staff says to the athletes, is I think sometimes people look at us and they think that we're 800 years old. It's like we're not. But even if you feel that we're very old,
Yeah.
we were once teenagers as well too,
Yes.
right? I know that may think, well, what century was that you were a teenager? But
I
we
know.
were we were once teenagers. We were once young adults. So nothing beats experience, and we're always real with our athletes. I'm always real with any athlete I've coached over my 24 years, and giving you that knowledge. Knowledge is power, as they say,
Mhm.
right? So those skills about experience, about knowledge, but also communication.
Yes.
A lot of people think they're good communicators, but they aren't. Some are. It just depends. But it's
Mm-hmm.
really trying to meet the athlete on their level, and that level might be well. Actually, it will vary from athlete to athlete, or might vary from year to year. So, really tapping in again to what those needs are and anticipating them as well too, but also just again, honestly, being real with them and just I always say I'll talk to you like an adult, right? Even if
I
you're
like that.
16 years old, 17 years old. But the caveat to that is that if you start acting like a child, then we'll talk to you like a
They'll
child.
be, yeah, exactly. So there's got
Yeah,
to be that threshold
yeah,
in
there's gonna be that
between, like,
threshold, right?
yeah, I'm cool with you, but still,
Yeah,
there's levels.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so then you talk a bit about communication, and there's different ways, of course, to communicate. Does F.O.R.M or even Canada Hoops have any program or process in place in helping those? Because if when they're on the court, they're different. They're there, they're focused, they're doing their thing. But outside of it, some of them communicate just through text. Some will communicate through, I don't know, dancing and doing TikTok. But you being in the field for so long, especially for those who are aspire to, as you were saying, go pro or post secondary, there's requirements besides just that skill set, right?
Yes,
So what are some
yes.
things that some of these athletes looking at is like, I'm really good, I'm a good ball handler, I have a really good form, I have a really good understanding of the game, but I'm not getting looked at, I'm not doing anything. What are some things that you've seen, or you can even tell them and say, hey, yes, you're good athletically, but these are some other skill set that you might want to work on to help you get to where you want to be. Because I tell to all these kids all the time, speak up. I can't hear you. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I heard something recently. I think it was maybe it was Nick Saban, and he was talking about you know communication, and
Mm-hmm.
he'll have. So he said to the guys, "What this is what it is." He said to the kids, come up to me at some point during this camp and introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he was saying that he's speaking to the group later. He goes, some of you came up to me and you spoke with confidence. My name is so and this is where I'm from, and this is what grade I'm in, and so on and so on. And some of you came up and you're like, "Hi, my name
Mm-hmm.
is," and you're like,
Yes.
"What? Sorry, what?"
Yeah.
So his point was about be confident in yourself, and that confidence will translate and parlay out to the core. In this case, he's a football coach, come out on the field, but it translates to whatever your arena is. Today we're talking about basketball, so on the court. So that is the biggest thing is, or one of the biggest things is just being confident.
Mm-hmm.
Seeking out those, especially coaches, that are going to be the decision makers of whether you make a team or not.
Yes.
Also, that are going to potentially help you matriculate onto whether it's other grades or post-secondary, university or college,
Yep.
or some that are lucky and blessed to go and play pro, is having that ability to orate and carry yourself with confidence. And with that confidence then comes character,
Yes.
right? Character is a really big piece, especially, every program around the country in the United States, wherever you're from, talks about character and culture, right?
Yep.
How are we going to build culture within our program that's hopefully going to then carry forward with that athlete for the rest of their life? So, when you come in, are you coming in on time? We had a thing at University of Windsor, shout out Coach Chang, but early is on time is late.
Oh, I like that.
So if practice starts at let's say it starts at 5 o'clock, I'm going to use a university schedule for example. You're not doing your own what we call activation
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes before. In fact, when you've woken up that morning, you hopefully have activated. Actually, that's required of you to have done
Yeah.
some sort of activation. You've hopefully gone to the gym at some point in time to get shots up in between
Mm-hmm.
class, or maybe you don't have class later in the day, so you go in the morning. An hour or two before, if you need to get taped, you're going to go get taped by
Mm-hmm.
the athletic therapist or the student athletic therapist. Then you're going to get into the gym, hopefully 30 minutes before, and get some shots up, loosen up, that sort of thing. So by the time you actually get to practice time for 5 o'clock, when we do our pre-practice talk and then get into dynamic warm-up, that should be your second or third activation of the day, right? Now, athletes that want to use the term high performance, if you're a high performance athlete and you're not doing that, A, you're shrinking your career because your body's going to break sooner. But B, you're not really living that standard of wanting to be a high performance athlete.
Exactly.
Right.
So you're aspiring, but your work ethic is not matching it.
It's not matching it. And it's also not, you're not, I use the analogy of a car. Especially in the winter here in Canada, various parts get more snow. You just don't hop in your car and drive.
No.
Generally, if you get snowed on, you gotta get. If you get snowed on, you have to clear off your car. Probably you start it before, clear off your car, all those things. Turn on all the buttons, and all these cars will have different buttons. Steering wheel heater, butt heater, this heater, all that heater.
Yeah.
Heater for the windshield, heater for the back. But you're warming up the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So our body's sort of like a vehicle. Well, it is a vehicle. It's an engine. You got to warm it up. You got to do those things in order to be able to optimize your progress, optimize your performance.
Yes.
On the court. And for me, like my background's in medicine, so you have to be doing those things to take care of your body. Unless you're just going to break down.
Yeah.
And
that's that analogy. I'm definitely going to steal that. I'm going to steal that and repeat that.
I was like, why? I was like, wait a minute. There's some copyright there.
I'll reference you back to you. Don't worry. I'm going to emphasis on that and share it because I really appreciate it.
I will gift it to you. Gifty.
I'll say to all the kids, even though they don't drive, you're like a car. You gotta warm up your body. You gotta do this.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. So those are good points that you made in terms of on time. No, early is on time, and on time is late. Yeah. That's a buzzword. I like it.
Yeah, and I think with that, just to finish off that point real quick, is just it sets the precedence for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you're rolling in at 4:30 for a 5 o'clock practice, you're tapped in, you're ready. You're focused. You're okay, we got practice at 5. I'm getting some shots off, I'm getting loose, and whatever it is. And it's just natural. If you're rushing, you're coming in a few minutes before 5, your shoes aren't tied, all this stuff. It's not telling, forget the coaches, it's not telling your teammates,
that you're,
hey, I'm ready to hoop today, and I'm ready to get better, and ready for us to get better.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's so if every single person on the roster is doing this, then it should be a smooth transition. It should be smooth practice, smooth
beautiful
film, smooth game, because you're all in sync and it's consistent because you embody what the goal of the team or the club, the academy is, and it makes it easier. I mean, that's a perfect world. I know it doesn't exist, but I'm just, I'm envisioning
it does. Right? Having coached pro, it's high school is different when you coach high school athletes versus university athletes versus pro athletes. It's all very different. Even though it's still basketball, there's different motivations for each. The pro guys are going to do all that stuff that you just mentioned. The university guys are going to do it too, but you might get some guys that are lollygagging. But the majority of pro guys are going to do it because their motivation is money and hopefully going to better leagues. So the majority of the guys are going to do that, right? So it's understanding, and I heard something a while back too, just to finish off that point, is act and govern yourself for the job that you want. So if you want to be a pro athlete and you're in university, act like a pro athlete. If you want to be a university athlete and you're in high school, act like a university athlete, and so on and so forth. And that's just the process of maturation and growth and understanding. Like you said, in a perfect world, that'd be awesome, but we know that it's not a perfect world.
Yeah. Actually, you answered my next question because I was going to ask, those are the higher, post-secondary education pro, and they've got there. But for majority of my parents, a lot of them are in elementary and middle school, and elementary starts off great because you're starting off, the love is there, anticipated, great. And then they get to middle school and high school, growth, hormones, whatever, I don't know, stuff kicks in and you kind of see a little bit of change in there. But letting them know that if this is, the next level that you want to get to is where it is, and you got to still keep that momentum going. I think that is a good message that I'm going to keep repeating to them. Like, even though, let's say you're in grade 7, act like you're in grade 8. Even though you're grade 9, act like you're in grade 10, because that's where you want to aspire to get to the next level. Those are good points. I like that. And I wanted to also ask you though, because we're talking mainly about F.O.R.M, and you mentioned all the 3 different provinces, well, Ontario 2 locations, and Vancouver. What would you say is positive thing that's happening right now within the Canada basketball environment? Because you have access to all of across Canada. I'm mainly here in Ontario, particularly Toronto, so I can only speak to what I've seen. But because you have that experience, and F.O.R.M is supporting not just one region, but you're supporting multiple, and even your summer circuit, you play at multiple different provinces.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say in terms of the growth or the learning or the curves for Canadian basketball, and what can we, anticipate or even learn from to make sure that it keeps getting bigger and better?
Oh man, it's an exciting time to be part of the basketball community, and the growth of basketball, in all honesty, is exponential. It is awesome. Um, there's so much access. I mean, now you can talk about the good and bad about that, but there's so much access for young athletes to get into the sport. Whereas when you and I were growing up, there was only maybe 1 or 2 in your area, maybe 3 if you're really lucky. So there was a real big dogfight to make that elite team and go and play travel ball in Canada and play travel ball in the States. Again, we're not going to get into the good and bad and the ugly of things, but the access is exponential, and it's awesome. I find that the kids, and again, it's part and parcel. The athletes, the kids, the young females, the young males, they can do some phenomenal things with the basketball. You know what I mean? But the caveat to that is that they can all do a Euro step and do all the different, jelly and hezzy and everything like that. But then they forget the fundamental pieces of basketball, which they need to have. So as much as the access is there and the growth is there, and it's going to keep getting bigger with the evolution of the WNBA coming to Toronto in 2026, and again, exciting times for women's basketball and for young girls to really see, women playing pro basketball, and hopefully they get to the point of being compensated similar to the NBA. But I think that the evolution of that needs to be, the base of that needs to be, let's learn the fundamentals first and then stack and then build on those fundamentals. But in all honesty, like I said, whether it's here from Vancouver through to Atlantic Canada, Quebec, wherever you are in the country, just the access, the skill, the understanding of the game. And I said to our guys a few weeks ago at practice, I said, I wish you guys would watch more games. So that's the one thing I would say.
Oh man, can you repeat that?
Please, I beg you. Watch more games versus highlights. The term they say is process over product. And I feel that you want to get to the product and not worry about the process. But no, you have to worry about the process because it's a marathon, not a sprint. So again, watching games, watching film, all that stuff is going to help you with your decision making on the court, which again, the access is going to keep growing and growing and growing. And it was awesome that Canada was part of the Olympics this year. That was amazing.
That was historic.
It was historic. It was since the last, was it 22,000? The last time we were in the Olympics, so it was like 24 years ago.
And most of these kids don't even remember. So this is their generation. This is what they're going to remember down the line. Just like we're remembering ours, they're going to remember this.
And the one thing that we don't realize that, or maybe some people do, but I think a lot of kids don't realize is like, hey, we had both our men's and
women, yes,
in the Olympics.
Yeah,
a lot of countries, like how many countries can say that they had that? I mean, France had it because they were the host, and I mean they would have made it probably. I
Yeah.
think Australia and, they had both their men's and women's Team USA. Okay, you have your staple
But that's
countries that are
about it.
there,
Like maybe
but there weren't,
5
there
had,
weren't
yeah,
many
you're right.
countries that had dual representation both on both sides. So
Yeah.
really embrace that and say, hey, you know what? That could potentially be me down the road to
Mm-hmm.
represent our country.
Yeah, exactly. And based on like everything that you said, I'm honestly ecstatic and happy with how the like basketball world is going, and it's not looked down upon as it was before. Parents are more welcoming and accepting of the benefits and the skill set and the life lessons that you're getting from basketball, such
Mm-hmm.
as your program, because as you say, you're talking about classrooms, community on the court. It's not just about dribbling and understanding shooting the ball only, but you're making sure that you're a holistic person
Mm-hmm.
while they're in that journey and then afterwards, which I think most people don't even hear of that. And I really want you to tell us some of the beautiful, and it's okay, this is like a bragging moment. I want you to don't be too shy. It's okay. I know you socially you guys don't post it a lot out there, but talking to you and knowing you behind the scenes, you guys are doing so much amazing. And it's fine, not everybody is going to do commit, I put this here and I did that, because some people live on social media and put their check marks as their bravado. But I want this to be your opportunity to let everyone know, hey, yes, F.O.R.M, we've been around for this amount of years, but these are, our resume speaks for itself. We may not be out there putting a banner on this in the sky zone or something like that, but these are some of our accolades. And I want people to see that there's so many things that you're doing that they may not see it because you're busy doing the work, right? You're not there making fancy, colorful posts. You're literally out there in the trenches, as they call it. So this is
Yeah.
your bragging moment. Tell us all of your accolades and things that you're proud of, student support, everything. Your
Yeah,
moment.
I mean, anyone that knows me, I'm not a big person to, this. I'm
I
not big
know.
into trumpeting myself. It's really honestly, if you do look at our social media, we really try to celebrate and elevate our athletes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's bigger than me, it's bigger than you, but it's not bigger than us, right?
Yep.
And that's what we live by. But we've been successful in the 8 years of our existence. I just say we're small but mighty. We
Yes.
don't have 8 million teams in each age group, and that's not our model. Um, it's really about the athletes. This past summer, we had two teams. We had our Toronto team, Team Gold, which is our national team, and we had our Team Black, which is our Kitchener team. Sometimes they blend between athletes, and then the guys who were out west in Vancouver and Calgary and Nova Scotia, those guys would fly in and play on our national team, and they would travel with that. But we've had several athletes from just this summer go on to play currently right now post secondary. And
Wow.
over our 8 years, we've had something like almost 30 athletes go on to play post secondary, either at the U Sports level, the NCAA level, the CCAA level. And that's something that we're truly proud of as an organization. It's the validation, like, hey, this works. I
Yes.
mean, there's
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
but also the joy of being able to follow their journey post high
Mm-hmm.
school.
Mm-hmm.
And a good lot of them still message me, you know, and say, "Yo, coach, what's up? How
Of
you
course.
doing? Hey, congrats on Team O win. Hey, I see you guys do this in Vancouver. That's awesome. I see you guys do this in Toronto. So it's still keeping that level of communication going with them, but we really, really buy in, or we get them to buy in because we trumpet the whole F.O.R.M family. So we're a
Mm-hmm.
family, and
Yes.
whether you're with us for a short time or a long time, we're always going to be part of our family. We don't
Good.
we don't excommunicate you from the family,
I
so to
like
speak.
that.
And at the end of the day, that's what we're most proud of, is just having that family first approach with our athletes. And at any point in time, you can text any of the coaches, any of our, you can text me, you can give me a shout. You know, this summer I had an athlete, and shout out Kamari, but he called me and said, hey, and he's in Calgary. He said, hey, coach, I have these options to either go potentially to this post-secondary institution or this post-secondary institution. What are your thoughts? And we were on the phone for an hour, just weighing
Wow.
weighing the options back and forth. And right now he's playing at St. Mary's University in Calgary. We have other athletes who are saying, okay, what should I do? Should I go? One's at UBCO, the other one's at Nipissing. Another one hit towards ACL, so he's recovering, but potentially will go to University of Waterloo. So it's just giving these athletes a sounding board is what, again, I'm really proud of that, and just giving them the support and guidance, because let's be honest, there's so much information out there. A lot of it's disinformation.
Yes.
And with that disinformation, it now gets frustration.
Yes.
That's a bar.
I like that.
You can say
it. I'm gonna call that for you.
Yeah. But at the same time, though, in all honesty, it's like, we're just trying to do our little bit to make sure that you're getting the right information and making the most informed decision for yourself.
I like that. See, well done. I'm really, really happy when you had told me all the great work that you've been doing. And for 8 years, it's not easy to be in this basketball world year over year. It's been not.
Some very dark times and hard times, but
yes,
we keep going.
But you guys, you keep, you persevere, you keep pushing forward. And the one thing that I appreciate is the fact that you're not just thinking of one way, so I'm only going to develop in just this small little region. You're literally thinking beyond just with all of Canada, because you can see that the skill set is across the country and not just in one area. Yes, Ontario is very heavily populated. We're like the number one. Well, I would say we're probably like the New York, LA version of the States or something. I don't know.
No,
if that
true.
makes sense,
true.
Right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the other parts of the world, other parts of the country doesn't have that skill set. And the fact that through Canada Hoops, through F.O.R.M, you're able to, unite that all through your travels and making sure that, like you say, players flying across the country to be able to still play and do the sports that they love. That's something that me as a parent, if I'm on that side, be like, this is great, because it's an opportunity not just for them to only know their small circle, but also see the expansion of how far this orange ball can take them, right?
And it's so true, because with Canada Hoops especially, it gives the athletes the opportunity to travel within their country.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's crazy expensive at certain times to go from maybe Toronto to Vancouver, but it gives you that, not only that experience, but then creating a memory that's going to last a lifetime, right? Yeah. But along with that, it's also getting them to understand that, hey, you might be good in your region, but now go test yourself against different regions and see whether you can really cut it. Because, again, high school, there's grade 9 teams. I don't know if they do midget basketball anymore, but there's junior basketball. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to senior, you're now having 2 grades be on one team, right? So grade 11 and 12, right? And that's the precursor for you getting to post-secondary, because now you're going against dudes and girls that are in 4th year, 5th year. They're way bigger and stronger, they're older, they're more experienced, So it's really understanding that, hey, if you're the dun-dada, you're the guy at age 14, you got to now seek out competitions better than you, and you got to play dudes and gals that are better than you or older than you in order to be able to be really good, right? Yeah. Because it's one thing just to plateau at 14 or 15 or 13, like, I'm the guy.
Oh, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot.
But when you get to an elite team, when you get to the next level, like you said, there's a lot of guys, there's a lot of gals. Yeah. How are you going to stand out? And the biggest thing about that is, like, how are you also going to impact winning? Mm-hmm. Right? So.
Yes, the role play that you put in, not because you're the main, point guard, but as somebody said, point guards come a dime a dozen, right? What other roles do you play in addition to that, to the team? So that's key point. Now, one thing I also want to find out from you is, what do you look for when you are selecting to work with these student athletes? Because, you have your criteria, you have your set goals, and you kind of sense it. Like you said, the previous, like the example you gave with the coach asking all these kids after camp to come and talk to me. And some I can hear, some can't hear. What are some of the things that you look for? Say, you know what, this person, skill set may not be there, but there's something else in it that we can work with. From either through F.O.R.M Academy or even Canada Hoops. either one of them, what are some of the key points that you look for?
Yeah, I mean, with Canada Hoops, we don't select teams per se. We put on the events,
Mhm.
but if we're looking at athletes and say, hey, this person could be pretty good for a post-secondary program, or even with Team Ontario, I do stuff with Canada Basketball, the Junior National Academy, and selection camps this weekend and Thanksgiving weekend in Toronto. So that's where I shall be along with the academy playing this weekend. But criteria, the biggest one would be, again, like communication.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And with the communication piece, it goes more than just talking on the court. I mean, that's a standard. Like, you got to talk on the court,
Yes.
offensively and defensively, right?
Yeah.
And I always say that if you talk yourself into position, right? So if you're on defense and you're on ball and you're saying ball, 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 ball,
But you're standing there.
everybody. Oh no, but let's say you're actually playing defense,
Yeah.
and I'm guarding you. Everyone knows on my team and on the bench and in the crowd that I have the basketball.
Yeah.
Then if you're in the gap, you're saying gap, 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 or nail protection, nail, nail, nail. If you're in help, 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 help. And if all
Yeah.
5 guys are having that level of communication, awesome. But you can only control, as an individual athlete, what you can control. Talking is easy.
Yes.
We talk every day,
Yes.
right? Even if you're a shy person, you still got to talk.
Yes.
So that's the easy part. A lot of athletes struggle with that because we say, coach says talk, and
Yes.
it's
Because
dead
you're in
silent.
this digital texting world. Yes.
Yeah, and it drives us crazy because you're like, come on, man, that's the only way you were gonna really take off as a team.
Mhm.
The second thing about that, again, I'll refer back to it, is character. Are you, with the communication piece and characters, like, are you really embracing what that drill is or what we're doing? Maybe we're going over some sort of actions. Are you asking questions?
Mhm.
Are you, using words to edify? So are you uplifting your teammate, but
Mhm.
also holding your teammate accountable when they play like caca?
Yep.
So it's okay to be like, hey man, let's go.
Let's go.
Like, let's tap in. That was shit. Da 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 da.
Yep.
Or, hey man, great job. Let's get the next one. Right? Or, hey, keep hitting, keep shoot.
Yeah.
It's those little words and those little, they call them idioms, and all these, these birds, but how you're motivating, so that's the
Mhm.
next thing, is how are you as a motivator, right? And you can still hold your teammate accountable by coming down on them, right? Which
Yeah.
will hopefully motivate them,
I
right?
like
And
it.
then the last part to that is, what do you look for? It's how do you impact winning? And a lot of high school students and a lot of elementary students struggle with that because they think, when they hear that, and I've heard it said to me even recently, so I score buckets. And I'm like, yeah,
They count in the scores.
yeah,
Yes.
it goes more than that, though. It goes deeper
Yes.
than that, because what if your shot's not falling?
Mhm.
What if, God forbid, you're missing layups, which
Mhm.
is the most missed shot in basketball, is a layup?
Yep.
Are you going to mope and sulk about it, or are you going to turn around and now play defense? Because defense is just about a mentality.
Mhm.
You choose whether you want to play defense.
Mhm.
You can't control what happens on offense,
No.
if the ball goes in or not, right? I mean, you should be able to control a layup because it's literally right there. But
Yeah.
lest I digress, right?
Yes.
It's neither here nor that. It's, you'll miss a layup, you miss shots, you miss free throws. It's basketball, but I say it's arithmetic, it's math. Because if you shoot 35% from 3, that's a really, really good number.
Yeah.
But hello, you're missing 65% of the time,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And
So
so that goes back to your impact of that game.
how are you impacting the
all
game?
the ball coming to you, or even when it's in your hand, are you taking the shot just because you want to get the points? Or was there somebody else open that could have taken that shot so you become an assist? I'm always
Yeah.
talking about, you don't have to be the main top scorer.
Yeah.
You could be a top assist, and it's still an impact to the game. Correct?
Yeah, so if someone's skilled maybe is not at elite level, but they're doing those, what we call, those intangibles. They're being a motivator, a communicator. They have the good shot. Hey, he has the great shot, or she has the great shot in the
Yeah.
corner there or on the wing. You diving on the ground, you're doing all those things. That is gonna get you a longer look. Not necessarily you make the team. You may make the team, you may not, right?
Yeah.
But that's gonna keep you around. So if there's it's a weekend tryout and doing 2 sessions on a Saturday, 1 session a Sunday, or 2 sessions a Sunday, doing those things might keep you all the way through to Sunday final cut, or you
Yeah.
make the team, or whatever it is, right? So I think those are the aspects that a lot of coaches look for. But again, the accountability piece is so key, because you know it ends up being a player led team once the guys really and the girls really tap in and buy in and say, okay, this is our team. And again, I love analogies. I use an analogy of, this is your bus.
Yeah.
We're just the bus drivers. You just tell us where to go, right? And
That's it.
it is one of those things that is important, because the road is often winding. Again, shout out Chris Chang on this, because this is something we use at Windsor a lot. Was the road's always going to be like this,
Yes.
right? But are you going to be able to control and keep even keel and stay on the path, stay the course,
Yeah.
right? Or are you going to be driving like a maniac, and that's we're going to have dead. So
yeah, exactly. Especially after you have warm up your car, like you said before, it's not ready to go for the winter road, and now you're driving like you don't know how to drive. Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, and then for yourself as a coach, you did mention some of your proudest moments. Because I'm always speaking from a parent's perspective, what are some or two, three things that maybe you can tell us parents to be, it doesn't even matter what the age level, the level of the students are, for something that we should be aware of and mindful of as we go on this journey in terms of working with our coaches and understanding the team that our kids are on? Because, we want to make sure we're entrusted in you, but there are some of us that want to have one foot in and one foot out and everything like that. And because we know everything, So what are some things that you can tell as parents and say, hey, leave it to us, or this is what we're doing, or this is what you can do? Anything.
Yeah. I think the first one I'll talk about is like really being supportive to your child. And that support can also come in the form of constructive criticism as well too.
Yes.
Right. But don't coddle your child, right? In the sense that if they haven't really played a good game, you can still tell them that they didn't play a good game.
Yeah.
But now it's that support piece is like, hey, let's get, maybe if I'm still young enough or mobile enough, let me get on the court with you. Or if I can't, let me find you a trainer, or let me watch film with you, or let's, there's different things you can do. Let's watch a game and see what's happening there. I'd say watch more so college.
Yes.
Because it's more geared to the university game, the high school game. But NBA is good to watch as well too. But those actions are happening at a higher clip, way faster, right? So I would say that providing that support to your child is paramount, right? The next thing I'll say, which might get me crucified, is let the coaches coach. Okay.
It's so hard, but it's so true.
Yeah, let the coaches coach, because they are there for a reason. And I think the other understanding to it as well is that the majority of coaches aren't being paid.
Yeah.
Right? The majority of coaches are sacrificing their family time with their wife, girlfriend, husband, boyfriend, whoever it is. Right? So they've just worked a full day. Right? Especially at the community level, at the high school level, the rep level. They've just worked a full day, and then they've come to practice, or they've come to the game, or they're giving up their weekend, whether it's a long weekend or whatever it is. So the last thing they want to hear from is you, right? Because they're the coach.
Yeah.
You have to trust the coach, and hopefully they know what they're doing. And that's why they're the coach. Now, not to say that you can't have a conversation, but that conversation should generally wait 24 to 48 hours after a tournament or a game or whatever it is.
Cooler heads prevail.
Cooler heads always prevail. But
yeah,
the piece that sometimes has to be reminded to parents is, we don't tell you how to parent, so please don't tell us how to coach. Right? Now, we're all for constructive criticism. We're all for say, hey, do you maybe think of this or whatever it is. But saying to us, "Oh, my kid needs more playing time," or "This should happen," or yeah, we don't really care.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm just being honest, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to hear it, right?
Yeah.
And then the last piece I'll say to that is, in the support of your child, really encourage them to be advocates for their own success.
Speak up for themselves.
Speak up for themselves, right? It's this day and age, it's like, let me go blame the coach, let me go blame the teacher. No. Let the athlete or the student advocate for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it doesn't go anywhere, if it's, it's a poor response or whatever it is, then yes, as a parent, you step in, right? But it's in the hierarchy of things. Like in the corporate world or in any sort of job that we have, if you have an issue with somebody, you hopefully try to talk to them first.
Yeah.
Right. And if that doesn't work, maybe
if you go to HR, they'll still go back.
They'll still go back to that original person.
Yep.
Right. So it's now we talk to that person. Hey, I got beef with you. Let's hash it out.
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason it doesn't work, maybe now go to their the next supervisor or director, and then you get that hierarchy, right? So if there's an issue, and again it goes back to the support, most coaches are communicators. They have communicated to their athletes XYZ
what they need. Exactly.
If they haven't, that's on the coach. They got to be better. But the brotherhood and sisterhood of coaches, we communicated. Yeah. So if you're not getting playing, because that was the biggest one, you already probably know why. And if you don't, ask your coach, because we'll talk to a player any given day, no problem. We don't have to talk to the parents. And I think there's a misconception that I pay, so therefore I have to talk to you.
What? Why not?
It's like, that doesn't really work that way. It's the investment, but in all honesty, let the child and the player advocate for themselves first.
Yeah.
Because in the real world, you can't advocate for them. They have to advocate for themselves if they have a job. And, even if they're in high school and they work at, I worked at the Gap in Petro-Canada, so I'm going to use that example.
Yeah.
My dad would never come and advocate for me.
No.
Because it's a job.
Yeah.
Now if it's something that's criminal, that's a little different.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if it's I'm not getting enough shifts, well, my dad's never gonna call. My mom's gonna call him like, why is my son not getting more shifts?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They would say, talk to your boss, your supervisor, and find out
what you want,
or ask for what you want. So I think that the empowerment of athletes is there. Mm-hmm. It can increase more, and athletes have to understand that you should feel empowered, and you'll say, hey, coach, why am I not getting playing time? Or how come this happened or that happened? And it's on the coach now to then explain that to you in a way that you understand, and then be okay with it. If they say, hey, listen, I don't think you're putting enough effort in at practice, that is a fair response. They should hopefully give you some examples, but that's a fair response. Now it's on you to be better.
Yeah.
Right. So
exactly. Oh man, these are good. I'm glad you're repeating, because that's something that I know in the beginning we struggle with, but we've learned over the years. And again, it comes with years of experience. But because there are some that are still in the early stages, and like I said, they have this big, huge eyes, and we pay this amount of money and blah blah. Money, I'm telling you, is not the main factor. As I'm learning, it's like you said, the character, the work ethic, your communications. There's so much more beyond that will continue to let them still be, members of the team, or continue to earn, the coveted playtime that everybody wants all the time. So
I'm going to use the example I used at the conference there, and I think it's a good one to use here. Is about supporting the athlete too. Is every kid and their mother now wants to have a highlight tape, right? Maybe what happens, you can be the official team videographer or whatever it is. So now you're videotaping the game for the team, that the coach will cut the film or whatever it is. And I went to that model a couple of years ago, and it was awesome, because that year when we piloted it, I got zero complaints and talks about playing time, because now the parents, and we rotated it through the parents in the parent group, and now the parents, because you can hear the audio when you watch the film, is now they're seeing
how they sound,
but they're seeing what we're seeing. They're like, oh, he's not back on defense. Sub him out. You hear that? I'm like, all of a sudden you get subbed out. Like, so oftentimes that's the understanding. It's like, well, how come that kid got subbed before my kid, or my kid got subbed? You know what I mean? It's like, well,
Mhm.
the turnover happens basketball. It's a mistake-driven game.
Yeah.
What happened after?
Yes.
Did that kid turn around and run back on defense? They get a longer leash.
Yeah.
Or maybe your kid turned over the basketball, stood rooted in their spot, or maybe started arguing with the ref that it was a foul. And here goes 4 guys spinning past him to score the bucket.
Exactly.
You're coming
Or
out of the game.
coach needs to pull him out to give him a different play.
To give him a different play, or to give you a rest, or whatever it is. There's so many different factors in it. But I found that, if any coach wants to take that, please give me the credit and copyright me on that. And
yes.
You can send a check to
Let
Coach
the
Paul.
parents do the rotation.
Do the rotation for it. It's honestly, it's awesome.
Yeah. You know what? I actually enjoy doing the film, because I know when they first started doing soccer, I used to do recording, but then the camera would be on the grass, but you can hear my voice in the background. They're like, what is this? So I start to realize, okay, in order to have the camera on, I have to shut up. Because when they hear my voice with the camera on, they don't want to watch. So that made me, it was a hard lesson. It's like, Mom, nobody's going to watch this because all we hear is you yelling, screaming. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So it's been a great lesson to learn that just either I'm recording or I'm cheering. And I have to pick both, like one at a time. It can't be both, and figure it out when the game is going on. And I will say that has help. But I like that you encompass the parents within the team to take that, because that's also, we're part of it. Like, even though we're on the outside, it's still a community, and that's something to be proud of. Yeah. And we all have the Google memory somewhere. Even if you don't buy the extensions, you can do that, right? So that's pretty good. Coaches, if you're watching or listening, please take that initiative as a way to have a peaceful season, as I call it, right?
Amen.
I like that. Okay, so what can we expect from you for the rest of the season or upcoming season or the year? Tell us your promos.
Tell us all the things.
Yes.
Well, we keep things pretty close to the vest. We only drop things, or we'll give little teasers. So you got to follow us, F.O.R.M Basketball on Instagram. For Canada Hoops, it's just Canada Hoops Circuit on Instagram. But for the Academy, actually, we're just starting to build their 2025 schedule. For the first time, one thing that we will let on is that in July, they will spend 3 weeks away.
Wow.
They're going to be in California for 2 weeks. Then from there, they'll fly to Regina for the for nationals, for the Canada Hoop Circuit Nationals. But essentially, they're going to be gone for those 3 weeks, which is the first time that we're actually going to do something like this.
That's good.
But it'll be great. Shout out to my boy Jason Simon out in California, invited us back for the GT National Cup, where we finished. I think we finished 4th in 2024. So we're trying to build on that. Some great teams from Australia, Brazil, Mexico, Germany, We're the only Canadian representative. The U.S. It was a good tournament. It was a good experience for the guys. So we're definitely going to go back to that. And then they'll stay down there. And then the following week is a live period event. So they'll stay down there in Cali and play down there. And then, like I said, they'll fly to Regina after that. So that's.
So you're not busy at all. You're
not busy. Not at all. Not at all. But that's something that we'll let on for us as a early promo. But we really want to embrace. We've made our schedule over most of the years more Canadian based, because again, I run Canada Hoop Circuit, so it'd be pretty ignorant of me not to do that. But at the same time, realizing that hey, the kids also want to play in the States, and they want to experience that, and so we'll give them a bit more U.S. games. But in my defense, I say, hey guys, the international standard is FIBA. Yeah. And we play FIBA here in Canada, and the rest of the world, other than the U.S., plays FIBA. So and at the university level, at the college level, whether you're male or female, you're playing.
It's still FIBA.
Yeah. So let's try to get you as much reps as possible with FIBA. And the thing that we did with Canada Hoops this year that we're carrying forward is that we went full FIBA for our circuit. So 10-minute quarters, Try to give you the full warm up as possible.
Mhm.
If we can't give you the 20 minutes, you get at least 10. And for Canada Hoops, one thing that I will say, because it's already been posted, is that we're actually going to use target score in the fourth
Oh,
quarter, similar to the CBL.
yes, the
Um,
Elam.
yeah, which
Yeah,
is going to be
okay.
pretty cool. Just we want the games to remain competitive. Not that they
Mm-hmm.
haven't, just that extra edge to the games and that extra spiritedness to
Yeah.
the games. We feel that it's just going to take us to the next level, and then also for with that as well too. The big news that we've talked about or we've put out already is that we're expanding to 3 divisions. So
Nice.
for the first 4 years, we had just done the U18, U19 division. Now we're going to have a U15, U17, and U19 division,
U19.
both
Wow.
men's and women's. So it's
Eh,
like you said, not busy,
yeah,
but
not at all.
but it's going to be good. So those are the few things I can let on. But for everything else, gotta follow the gram.
Yes, you do. And I would definitely tag it, make sure everybody knows to follow and keep in the loop and even subscribe to all of your
Yes,
notifications.
subscribe.
Make sure that because you do provide real good detailed information. I'm an
Yes.
avid reader, so I'm always looking like, I read all these small fine prints, like, oh my God, this is so cool and all. And I like I said, I like the way the form has been, even though you're saying 8 years is not that big, it's huge. It's very, very huge. It's
Thank
big.
you.
And with to see your progression over the years and where it's leading to is amazing. And, I always say by the time they support you, they'll have to book you. So now
Yes.
that people are getting these understanding and seeing it, I want parents, especially at the early stages, who may have that big eyes headlight somewhere in the corner. I will say, listen, there's baby steps, but there's an existing corporation that's been around doing the work
Yeah.
consistently. They may not be flashy or anything like that, but the results are there, and that's what you want. So that's why I wanted you to come on here to share so that people know all the great work that you're doing. And yes, you're not, out there, but you're doing it because, like I said, you're busy doing the work. You don't have the energy to, you come in when needed and you go back and do what you have to do. So
Yeah, well,
good
I like to
kudos
stay
to
in
you and your
I
team.
like to stay in the background. Actually, it's funny they mentioned that because prior to you coming out, we doing this, I got a request to do another interview series with someone, and I was like, oh man. So you talk about the whole
Yes.
getting booked. I'm like, oh, I got to try to find this into my schedule somehow. I don't know, but we'll,
Yes.
maybe
No, it's
I'll clone myself. So there's gonna be two of us.
let me know how that works. And with that being said, what is one superpower if you had, what would it be?
Teleportation.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. I
And
like
where
to
would you be
travel.
teleporting to?
I
Just
will be teleporting everywhere. I'm like, I feel like going to Thailand today. Let me just hop on
like Star
Thailand.
Trek, beat me up, Scotty.
Yeah, meet me
Boom.
up, Scotty. I'm like, oh, I want to go to the NBA Finals. Let me just.
Done.
I'm
Right
there.
there.
I'm here. What's going on? Yeah, teleportation for sure.
Let me know when that get invented into our real life with all the
It's already
AIs coming
happening, don't you
on.
know?
Right? What? With all the AIs going on, let me know. Help a sister out so I can duplicate that for myself for sure, for
For
sure.
sure.
But I want to thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
No, no, this has been good. Like in all honesty, I just want to say thank you for having me on. Um, our program, we're just one small cog in the wheel, and again, we're small but mighty. But we really take that holistic approach. But in all honesty, what you're doing through Baller Mom, and I see you. I remember last year seeing you with Team Ontario. Well, I was there for the pro-am stuff, and we were
Yeah.
using the gym for Team Ontario. You're on the ground doing the same thing, promoting, uniting, cheering, and that is amazing to see. I was saying to you before we got online that we need more of you. We need more of what you're doing because, in honesty, like back to the whole information disinformation thing, there's so much information out there. It's just
Mm-hmm.
getting the right type of information and you know being part again of what we're doing across Canada together, whether it's through F.O.R.M or through Ballermont, is what this is all about.
Yeah.
And to the kids and to the parents and coaches who are watching this, just know that there's people out there that are willing to help.
Mm-hmm.
Seek out the right people, the right
Yes.
information,
Yeah.
But to the athletes watching this or listening to this or whatever it is truly surround yourself with people who are on the same path as you.
Yeah.
And that's not saying don't have friends that aren't necessarily in basketball, but if your ultimate goal is to become a basketball player, become a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever it is, surround yourself with people who are on that same path, because that's just going to help your life and make it easier for you. So again, thank you for the opportunity for, pretty much talk for the last hour.
Yes. No,
Really,
you did
really,
good. You
really
did
appreciate
good.
it.
Thank you so much, Coach P.
No
And
problem.
we'll definitely be in touch. And thank you for being part of the Support Cheer Unite podcast and interview.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right. I'm going to stop it now. Welcome to the Support, Cheer, and Unite podcast and interviews. My name is Gifty Kate, the founder of Mom Canada. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope the information shared in this episode helps you on your journey. Mom, as I am popularly known, is an information and resource hub for basketball parents or student athletes between the ages of 5 to 18 years here in Canada. The Support, Cheer, and Unite podcast is an informal conversation that showcases individuals, leaders, educators, coaches, trainers, and more within our sports community. Guests share their stories, experiences, knowledge, along with the great work that they are doing to support the sports families and their athletes. So subscribe or hit your notification button to make sure that you connect with me for all future episodes. And if you're looking to connect with me socially, I am available on various platforms such as Instagram, where I live most of the time, Facebook, Threads, Pinterest, or simply just Google Baller Mom, or visit my website, ballermom.ca. Thank you so much, and I hope this episode helps you on your journey, and let's continue to support, cheer, and unite. Bye.